In this lesson we're going to look at compound volume, which is basically dealing with more than one shape at the same time. So let's look at this first one. We've got a cone sitting on top of a cylinder. Now, in order to work out the total volume here, I tend to split it into two separate shapes. So I'm going to write headings for my two separate shapes. I've got a cylinder and I've got a cone. We need to know the formulas for these. The cylinder formula you must learn. The cone is basically in the formula sheet. However, it's good to know it. The cylinder is a circle times height, so pi r squared, and then times by height, so it's pi r squared h. The cone's just 1/3 of that, so it's the same formula but 1/3 of it. Right, let's focus on the cylinder first. So we can use the pi button or 3.14. The pi button is more accurate, and it would be tended to be used if you're trying to be really accurate, which is a better thing. But in the SQA, they allow you to use both, so it doesn't really matter which one you pick. So you need to find the radius of the cylinder. Now the radius from the centre to the outside, which in this case is 3, that's the diameter all the way across, which is 6. So we want to use 3 squared, and you can write 3 times 3 if you want. And the height of the cylinder is up to 13 there. So times 13. Type that into your calculator and you'll get an answer of 367.38 centimetres cubed. Let's look at the cone now. So the cone, to get the 1/3 in your calculator, we just do 1 divided by 3. Again, you can use pi or 3.14. The radius of the cone, we look to the bottom here, and you can see that all the way across the cone is 6. So the radius is the same as the cylinder, which is 3. And the height of the cone is from the bottom of the cone to the top, which is 8. And just type that into your calculator, and you get 75.36 centimetres cubed. Now in this case, we're looking to add the two together to get the total volume. So total volume, add the cylinder and the cone, add the two numbers together and get your answer, 442.74 centimetres cubed. Just watch out, in these questions sometimes they talk about significant figures, so watch out for rounding them, as that could cost you an extra mark. Okay, in this last example, I'm going to look at what happens when you've got shapes inside other shapes. Now, what we have here in this diagram is, hopefully you can spot it, you've got a big cone and you've got a small cone inside it, which is in the form of a water. It's some kind of water cup. I don't know if you've seen these before. You take them up to the wee water dispensers and fill them up. So we've got a large cone and a small cone. Now let's look at the questions. Calculate the volume of water in the cup when the cup is full. So that's this big cone. Now there's lots of numbers here, so I've got to pick out the right information. We know the formula, 1/3 pi r squared h, so we'll go into that again. 1 divided by 3, pi or 3.14 is fine. Let's look at the radius of the big part. So that'd be 7, wouldn't it? 7's the radius here, so 7 squared. The height of the big cone is all the way up and down is 16. So type that into your calculator and you've got 820.59 centimetres cubed. Right, the second part, calculate the volume of water poured out. So this is where this gets a wee bit tricky, because this is this bit here from there to there. And that is not a shape we know. Okay, that's not a cone, this wee bit here. This is part of a cone. But what you can do, if you work out the volume of water that's left, that's in here, first, let's look at that first and then we'll see what to do with that. So let's work out this volume here, because this is a cone. So we'll do 1/3 pi r squared h. So 1 divided by 3 times 3.14 pi. Now the radius here is from the centre to the outside, which is 5.5. Square it. The height here is 12, so times by 12. And then what you'll get is 379.94. So we've got the volume of the cup when it was full, and we've got the volume of what's left. And we want to know what was poured out. So you've got to think what you do with these two numbers. Now hopefully you come to the conclusion that if you add them together, that would give you 2 cones, and that would be more than this part here. So we don't add them, we take them away from each other. So to get the water poured out, subtract, and you'll get your answer of 440.65 centimetres cubed. Now sometimes these questions don't get this lead in. You've got this lead in to work out the full kind of cup there. So watch out for that. Sometimes it will just ask you for what is, how much water has been poured out, and you need to get the volume of both cones and then take them away. And just for future reference, if you've got shapes inside shapes and you're trying to get the missing parts, always take away some.